Welcome to Mná Feasa, a podcast series featuring stories from older women in County Kilkenny. Produced by me, Helena Byrne, in collaboration with Kilkenny County Council Library Services and Kilkenny Heritage. In episode 6, I talked to local Kilkenny women about dance halls, dates and drinks. The vibrant social scene that played out in venues such as the Mayfair in Kilkenny, the absence of alcohol, and the many romances that sprung from the dance floor. Would you have gone to the dance halls and things like that?
Oh yeah, we went to
heard a lot about these dance halls.
We went to the marquees. There were marquees at the time. Oh, there was, every parish had a fundraiser. So there was a marquee in Dunnamaggin. There was one in Piltown, was very good. They had very good bands now. We went to... But I was probably going out with Jimmy at the time, so I always had a lift. To get a lift was the problem.
Okay.
He had access to a car, but sure, the poor fella, he wouldn't refuse anyone. He had people in the boot, and he had... They were all over the shop now. We used to go to Adamstown down in Wexford at Christmas time. That was a treat. But yeah, the marquees were great. There was one in Callan as well. The Mayfair was the place to go in town.
In Kilkenny?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the library now, isn't
yeah.
it? That's where the library is, yeah. I always remember Jimmy saying, oh, he was raging. They went off in anyway, and Big Tom was playing. I don't know if you ever heard of Big Tom.
Yeah.
Big Tom was playing, and whatever look he gave anyway, who was the father and mother at it? Yeah.
Oh!
Father and mother were there with Jimmy's uncle and the wife. I'd say Jimmy was about 17 or 18. Jimmy's father was only 50 when we got married, so...
Okay,
you know that he was the other end of the scale. My father was well in his 60s when we got married, but his father and mother were very young.
Right.
Yeah.
And still
anyway,
cool enough to go and see Big Tom.
Yeah, but they didn't think, they were raging. Oh God, he said I think Kathleen was with them, and I think Stacia. They were disgusted anyway when the father and mother, when they saw them. And the next thing I said, and they went out dancing, which was twice as bad. But sure, they were only in their 40s then, you know what I mean? But they
probably would have seemed ancient to
Jimmy.
Yeah,
at the time. Yeah, I'd say he was about 16 or 17.
And you mentioned the dance halls.
Yes.
Which of would you have gone to the Mayfair in Kilkenny?
No, I don't think. I was in it once, I think, because they used to play camogie, and we went there one night.
Okay.
The Olympia in Waterford, you know, they used to get all the show bands there, you know, Brendan Byer and all the big show bands.
Yeah.
But my favourite spot was the dance hall in Mullabet.
Oh.
The dance hall in Mullabet.
I didn't even know there was one.
Oh, yeah.
And was it just simply known as the dance hall, or what
that's what it was, a dance hall, yeah. Okay. Actually, a cousin of mine had owned it. And I think to go into the dance that time, you'd be about 2 and 6, so that'd be new money now. And they had all the lovely country show bands, you know, that's what I used to like. Right. Yeah, different times. When I was, say, about 17 or 18 then, we used to cycle to an open air. They had a big open air dance, like maybe they were the size of my place there, and they'd have maple floors, and you had an open air dance, 8 o'clock till 11:30. Admission 2 shillings. Right. And we had a local, the Glenmore Cayley band, you know, you'd know everyone playing in the band. And
yeah.
Big changes, Helena.
It's nice that they've called the library the Mayfair now, actually, isn't it? That is, you know, yeah.
Oh, we all soldier there back years ago. The only time you couldn't go was in Lent.
Oh,
We'd go to Waterford then to dances in Waterford. You couldn't go. They never stopped in Waterford, no.
Well, that explains a lot about Waterford people anyway, doesn't it?
Yeah, they never stopped because we'd go out to Tremora, we'd go to Waterford itself, you know.
Right, yeah.
There was a big ballroom in Waterford there, and there was another one out in Tremora.
That's right.
Can you remember the names of them? By
the Atlantic was the one in Tremora.
And I can't think of the one in...
I can't think of the one in
Yeah, even though it could have been the Olympic, yeah. And they used to go up to the Dreamland, you remember, up in the Thai and places.
pray tell, did you meet your husband at one of these
Oh
dances?
yeah, in the Mayfair actually.
In the Mayfair? Ah, there
That's
we go.
where we are.
At the beer festival actually. It was the last 2 weeks of the beer festival used to come here back in 60 something. And it was the second last week of the beer festival, yeah.
Okay.
And then to make it matters worse, his sister had been in school with me.
So I've heard about these dance halls.
Yes.
That people go to the dance hall and some people say there was no drink, other people say, there was drink, and that sort of thing. Did you go to any dance halls?
I went, the Barrowland in New Ross was one of them.
What was it called?
The Barrowland.
Barrowland.
Yes,
Okay.
in New Ross. Well, you see the Barrow.
Well, yeah.
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 So it's the Barrowland. That was a new hall. I think I couldn't say when it was actually built or anything, but it was very, very new. But there were definitely no drink. There were always minerals there, but there were definitely not that I knew of, unless somebody snuck something in the pocket. And I can remember it was 2 and 6pence to go into the Barrowland.
Okay.
And that could be anybody from Big Tom, the Indians, all of these big bands.
So they got the
they did.
the big bands like
Oh
the
yeah.
proper.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah. They had. I mean, the night now that the Indians would be coming, I mean they'd be dressed up in the Indian gear and the whole lot. That'd be a super night. And there were some great dancers. Now, left legs, I could call them. But there were some great dancers around. And I had a friend called Mary, and we were probably as bold as pigs, the two of us. We'd know who'd be the real good dancers, because I'd love dancing. And we'd know who'd be the real good dancers, and we'd be making our beeline to them to get the dances. And I'd say to Mary, well, I'll get Jack now, and you can have him after then for another dance. But that's what went on, Helena.
Yeah.
You know, it was really funny. Yeah, there were funny times. You know, when you have to go look, could you think back on it now? There were funny times, really.
It sounds so innocent now, to compare to nowadays.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and the drinking culture that's there and all that. And,
Oh, no.
you know,
Oh, no.
it's just...
Do you know, I could honestly say I didn't take a drink till I was about 20.
Right. Yeah.
I'd say I was 20.
Yeah.
And then when I took a drink, I couldn't get anything that I really, really liked.
Okay, yeah.
That wore off.
You struggled, you persevered.
I did. I tried them all.
And was drinking much of a thing for ye at,
No, not
at
for
that
us,
age? Like,
no.
you know, when you're in your late teens, early 20s?
No, not for us. Jimmy didn't drink until he was well in his 20s. And he was playing hurling with the Shamrocks, and they won some final, and the crowd of them that had never drank went on an awful skite. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
When you started the pub as well, was it a lot less common for women to go to the pub?
Well, women
that time.
wouldn't be used to drinking that time. You'd have women, but they wouldn't drink, like, you know.
Okay.
Like, I mean, I never took a drink. I was 24. I never took a drink. You know, women, if you were seeing a dance that having a drink, which some of the dance halls had a little bar at the back of it, it was kind of wasn't recognised. Like, if you saw a woman drinking, you'd think she was a...
Okay.
okay.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
Fill in the blank there.
Yes.
We were at a dance, that was it, in the Mayfair.
How did the love of your life come into play then?
Well, you see, we were both interested in the theatre. That's how we met, actually in the old St Mary's Choral Society.
Okay.
We were both members,
Right.
and that's how we really met. But Father Sharon, like, it was all about the men. The women were only a necessary evil in the shows.
Oh.
You see.
But in secondary school, you played a
yeah.
lot in plays and
In
school too.
Yeah.
Okay. So it was always there. It was always something
there,
you wanted
always,
to do.
always, yeah.
Yeah.
And then when the Watergate opened, like, when I think we went round and knocked on doors collecting money for them.
And would this have been the old water? Like there was because I remember that Watergate, the one that we have now.
No, there was a
Would have been
cinema
the Friary
there.
Hall, yeah, but
The Friary Hall, yeah.
The Friary
that's right.
Hall,
But then
yeah.
you would have been in Stallard's Theatre where
Oh, yeah.
Zuni is now.
Yeah, where Zuni is now.
Right, okay.
That's where you would have met Daddy,
Yeah.
I'd say, wasn't
Yeah.
it?
Yeah.
Was it love at first sight?
Well, not exactly now. 'Cause
Go on, tell us more.
no, we were both in the music society, but there was another chap there now, all right.
Oh,
And
who
he'd
was the
asked
other
me
chap?
to go out.
Okay.
What was his name? Then I remember Ben saying to me one night, we were at a dance, that was it, in the Mayfair. And he said, how are you getting home? And I said, I'm walking, because you could have thought, I think of it. And he said, sure, I'll walk home with you. That was it.
The rest was history.
The rest is history.
I had to get my father's permission to get married because I got married at 20 and you had to be 21 legally to get married. So I remember having to go and say to him, you have to sign this form. He was so delighted to get rid of me, I think, at that stage. I was the last. And he was very pleased that I was the last of the family. He was quite happy to get rid of me.
Can I ask, how did you meet your lovely husband?
How did I meet you? I suppose my brother Dixie, Lord Mercy, and Daddy were very interested in hurling. And for me to be at the weekends, I had to go with Dixie. So that was always a hurling match, you know. And the funny thing about it was they always choose anywhere the Shamrocks were playing to go to see, you know, and this was ever before I met you. This could be 3 or 4 years before I met you. I met him at what they call the feats. They were they were in different localities, like they'd be in Piltown and Dunnamaggin and all that kind of thing. Yeah, I met him at one of them. I think it was.
Was that sort of like
carnival?
Carnival kind of thing. Okay. Yeah,
that type of thing. Yeah, that's 73, 74.
Was it love at first sight?
But I suppose
Maybe
it was.
for him.
I'd say it was. It was. Actually, it was, yeah. Yeah, it was, yes.
And did you get married?
Yes.
Yeah.
Forgot to mention that. I married a hurler at the time. I met him when I was 16, so we're together 60 odd years now. We went on honeymoon with the Kilkenny team in 1967. I was only 22, I'd like to go now with all the gang. But yeah, it was good, you know. It was the time when the women hadn't started to go, you know, it was, there was a great, they didn't want me to go with the team, no. So
we went. You the only woman on the trip then?
I was the only woman on the plane, but there was one other lady, she married Martin Coogan, but she came later, they got married a few days later. But it was very unusual for the women to go. But now they go partners and the whole lot, you know, which is only right, I suppose.
Yeah.
And then Henry was in England.
When did you meet him, actually?
Yeah, well, I had been going out with him on and off, and he was in England then. He went off to England, I don't know why. And he wanted me to go over. He used to be writing to me. And I wasn't left go because I had a brother who was ordained in 63, and I wouldn't let go till I was 21.
Oh.
And I went to England in 64, and I cried every day I was in it, because that time you didn't go and stay in the apartment with your boyfriend. I was staying with an English lady. She bit her digs, you know.
Yeah.
And not nice. So I worked in Lucas's, you know, Lucas's batteries. I was in the office there, and I was friendly with a girl from Cork. So I wasn't happy out there at all. It was one thing I always regretted going, because I was quite happy at home. But like, you think there was no other man in the country, so.
Did you ever marry?
No, I never got married.
Oh, sensible woman.
No, there's whether I'm better off or not, but that's it. I didn't. It's too late now anyway.
Oh, well, never say never, but...
Well, I'm happy as I am, so...
Good.
Yeah.
Mná Feasa is a podcast series featuring stories from older women in County Kilkenny. produced by me, Helena Byrne, in collaboration with Kilkenny County Council Library Services and Kilkenny Heritage. This collaboration is kindly funded by commemorative initiatives under the Department of Tourism, Culture, Arts, Gaeltacht, Sport and Media. To find out more, visit helenabyrne.com.